Hi guys, in this video we're going to learn the basics of quadratic function. Before we start, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to click the bell button to turn on notifications because more incredible content is on its way. Okay, let's get started. First I will show you an example so you have a more in-depth impression of the quadratic function. There is a 20-meter fence which can be used to enclose a rectangular area. What is the area of the rectangle with different length values? We assume the length of the rectangle's area is x. 20 meters is the perimeter of the fence's area. Because the area is a rectangle and the perimeter is the sum of twice the length and twice the width can be described as 20 minus 2x divided by 2, which can be simplified into 10 minus x. We know the area of the rectangle is the product of the length and the width. That is x times parentheses 10 minus x, which equals 10x minus x squared, or negative x squared plus 10x. So the area can be described as negative x squared plus 10x. Now let's make a table to see the values better. In this table, the area of the rectangle is y changes when the length, x, changes. This relationship between the two variables can be formed in a function y equals negative x squared plus 10x. Generally speaking, the function is a form of y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are numbers and a cannot be equal to 0. The function describes the relationship between the two variables. X is the input and y is the output. The value of y changes when the value of x changes. In other words, its value depends on the value of x. You may say, this looks familiar. Yeah. If y equals 0, the function turns into a quadratic equation, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Actually, the quadratic equation we learned about in the previous videos is a special form of the quadratic function. Please check out the link in the description if you want to learn more about the quadratic equation. Just like the linear function, the quadratic function can also be graphed. Let's try to graph the function of the previous example. In the table, there are groups of numbers: 2 and 16, 3 and 21, 4 and 24, 5 and 25, 6 and 24, 7 and 21, and 8 and 16. All of them should be on the graph. We can see the graph of the quadratic function y equals ax squared plus bx plus c is always a U-shaped curve, which is called the parabola. Now let's talk about some important characteristics of the parabola. First, the coefficient a is very important and can determine how wide or narrow the graphs are, whether the graph opens upward or downward. The parabola opens upward if a is greater than 0. The parabola opens downward if a is less than 0. The smaller the value of a is, the wider the parabola opens, and the bigger the value of a is, the narrower the parabola opens. Second, when we look at the parabola, we can see that it has the lowest point if it opens upward. That means the function y has a minimum value in this case. On the contrary, it has a highest point if it opens downward, and y has a maximum value. The lowest or the highest point is called the vertex. But how can you determine the value of the vertex? The result is when x equals negative b divided by 2a, the function will have a vertex, which value is c minus b squared divided by 4a. Keep this in mind and it will help you solve problems with the quadratic function. Now let's see how to prove it. Let's use the complete the square formula. Just add and subtract b squared divided by 4a at the right side of the function and get y equals ax squared plus bx plus b squared divided by 4a minus b squared divided by 4a plus c. Factoring out a from the first three terms, the function turns into y equals a times parentheses x squared plus b divided by ax plus b squared divided by 4a squared plus c minus b squared divided by 4a. x squared plus b divided by ax plus b squared divided by 4a squared is the square of parentheses x plus b divided by 2a. So we get y equals a times parentheses x plus b divided by 2a squared plus c minus b squared divided by 4a. When x equals negative b divided by 2a, the first part is equal to 0. So when a is greater than 0 and x equals negative b divided by 2a, the function has a minimum value of c minus b squared divided by 4a. When a is less than 0 and x equals negative b divided by 2a, the function has a maximum value of c minus b squared divided by 4a. So we get the value of the vertex negative b divided by 2a and c minus b squared divided by 4a. It's a little complicated, but it can help you understand the vertex better and make you more comfortable with completing the square formula. Now let's look back at the graph of the quadratic function. Just by looking at it, you can see that it is symmetrical and its line of symmetry passes through the vertex. That means the vertex line x equals negative b divided by 2a is the axis of symmetry of the parabola. Okay, now that we've finished learning the basic concepts of the quadratic function, let's look at an example together to better understand the concept. Y equals x squared plus 3x plus 2. What is the vertex and the axis of symmetry of this function? Here a equals 1, so we know the parabola opens upward and has a minimum value. To get the value of the vertex, we just plug the value of a, b, and c in. Negative b divided by 2a and c minus b squared divided by 4a. Negative b divided by 2a equals negative 3 over 2. C minus b squared divided by 4a equals 2 minus 9 over 4, which equals negative 1 over 4. So the vertex is negative 3 over 2 and negative 1 over 4. But don't forget the axis of symmetry. It's the vertex line of x equals negative b divided by 2a, which is x equals negative 3 over 2. I think we've already learned enough for today. In the next video, we will learn how to draw a graph of the quadratic function, so please stay tuned. If you have any questions, leave a comment below or email us at question@beat-math.com. We will try to answer your questions in a future video, and the most common question will be given priority in our next video. See you next time!